So today we will discuss about the design procedure for the band brake. This is a new type of brake system that we have to learn immediately after the shoe brake. And as I have already told, this band brake consists of a band which is running over the brake drum. You can see this is the band that is running over the brake shoe. And when you apply a force here, it is going to get tightened. Is tightening this brake drum, and if it is a clockwise rotation, this is going to be the tight side, say F1. Okay, for clockwise rotation, and for anti-clockwise rotation, this is going to be F1. Okay, then it is going to be F2, and here it is going to be F1, F2, interchanging. Okay, that's a very simple thing. And the main thing that you have to understand about the differential band brake is that none of the endpoints of the bands are connected to the fulcrum. It is completely away from the fulcrum, and you have got two points, say this is S and C here. So some different here they have given us A, B, any dimension you can use. In data handbook they have used B and B1. Anyway, it's okay. But here when you analyze the differential band brake, one thing is that they may not give you the direction of FA. Doesn't mean that always FA has to be in the downward direction. No. You have to find out the correct direction of FA. And it's very simple. It is just by looking at the dimensions S and C. Say this is the initial orientation you have. Let's say this is S and this is C. Here in this case S is greater than C. Let's say take like that. And what happens when you apply the force in the downward direction? What happens? S is going to tilt like this. This is the orientation the fulcrum is going to, so the lever is going to take. So if this is theta, this is also theta. So the distance traveled here is S theta, and here the distance traveled is C theta. We can say that since S is greater than C, I can say that S theta is greater than C theta, right? If S is greater than C, then the distance traveled here is S theta, that is greater than C theta. Now you look here. Here it is going to produce S theta. It is going to lose this belt S theta, and in this side it is going to tight C theta. And you have to understand one thing, that the amount of belt that is loosened on the left hand side is not tightened on the right hand side. Once again I will repeat, here S theta is more compared to C theta. Say for example, say this is 10 centimeter, or as far as 10 centimeter, say this is 8 centimeter. Here the belt is loosened to 10 centimeter, and here it is tightened only to 8 centimeter. That means still there is a looseness of 2 centimeter in the system. That means you are not breaking it. No braking action is taking place over there, right? So if S is greater than C, this is not the direction of force. It has to be in the upward direction. Anyway, let's take the other case. Let's take the upward direction. So how the system is going to behave? Say this was the initial condition. This was S and this was C, right? Now you have applied the force in the upward direction. What happens when you apply the force in the upward direction? This is the position that is the lever is going to take. So this is S theta and this is C theta. Now you look here. Here S theta is greater than C theta. Here you see the loosened length is C theta and tightened is S theta. So here more tightening is happening compared to the loosening. So this definitely is going to give you a braking effect. So this is how you should put the direction of force. Blindly don't put the direction of force in the downward or the upward direction. It is purely based upon the direction of S, value of S and C. Okay, that is how. But this is only this matters only when we deal with the differential band brake. This is not going to affect the simple band brake, right? Now let's keeping this in mind, let's move forward and design the band brake. Here this first step is same. Here we are going to find the torque transmitted using the same equation 3.3a. Now our aim is to find out the value of tensions F1 and F2. For that you can use these equations. These are the very normal equations that we have learned in our basic mechanical engineering. Here we have the value of torque here. So torque is nothing but F1 minus F2 into R, and also F1 by F2 is equal to e to the power of mu theta. So theta is the angle of contact. So theta is the angle of contact. You can see here, this is the angle of contact of the brake, theta. So use these two equations. From this equation you get the value of F1 is equal to F2 into e to the power of mu theta. You substitute this value here, get the value of F1 and F2. That is how you have to solve. So in the step number 2, you are supposed to find out the value of the tensions F1 and F2. And now you have to find out the operating force. You have a series of figures in the data handbook. So this is a simple band brake. This is a simple band brake. This is a differential one. This is also a differential one. So in the simple band brake, one end is on the right hand side of the lever on the fulcrum, and here other end is on the left hand side. For a simple differential band brake like this, you can see here one end is on the left hand side and other end is on the right hand side, but that is not the case here. Here both these ends are on the left hand side. It can be vice versa also. It can be on the right hand side also. So if you have a figure that exactly matches the one which is given in your data handbook, you can directly take the equations and you can solve it, no issue. But if you cannot find a matching figure, I always advise you to solve the moment equation. Moment, you solve the moment, not the moment equation, you solve the moment. You take the moment about this fulcrum O. That's I always suggest. So if you know how to take the moment about O, there is no issue. So you have calculated the F1 and F2. Say this is, let's say this is the differential band brake. Say this is the condition you have, and this is the direction of F. Say this length is A, this length is B1, and say this length is B. See, even if there is a, say for example I am taking this as F1 and this as F2. Even if there is an inclination, don't worry about anything. The way in which I am going to take the moment about O is something like this. Moment about O is equal to 0. So that means it is equal to minus F into A, anti-clockwise direction, minus F1 into B, again anti-clockwise direction, plus F2 into B1 equal to 0. We have already calculated the value of F1 and F2. We have the value of B1 and B. Definitely A also available. Unknown value is F, and we can get the value of F. So this is how we find the actuating force. If you find a direct match, you can use the direct equation from the data handbook, but I always prefer to solve the to find the operating force by solving the taking the moment about the fulcrum. So irrespective of the condition, irrespective of the direction of fulcrum or the location of the pivot points of the belt, you will not make a mistake. You can easily get the value of actuating force. Right. Now moving forward with this, since here we are using a band as the braking element, we have to design the band. For that, the thickness of the band H is nothing but 0.005 m. This D has to be in mm. So you will get the value of H here, and the width of the band is obtained from the equation 13.180. F1 is the tight side tension. Sigma D we will assume, since it is a fabric type of material, we can assume some 40 to 60. This is the normal range of assumption. So if it is given to the question, use that value for the band. Okay. So F1 you have calculated, H you have calculated in the previous step, sigma d we have assumed, and we will get the value of B. It's very simple. And finally we have to design the lever and the heat dissipation. These two are the same as that of the design of brake. Only thing is that you take the correct moment about the point, or you can take the correct moment. You can take it like this. You can take M equal to say F into A. This is also okay, or this is also fine. If you take the solve this equation using moment about O, this is also sufficient. This is sufficient enough. F into A. In the previous question we have solved it as F into A plus B. That is also okay. No problem. Okay. So use this value for M. I, like I told you, take a proper co-section. Sigma you assume. C is going to be D by 2. Substitute it here. Get the value of B and D. That's all. And in the same manner you have to calculate the heat dissipation also. So these steps are very simple. Only thing is that a few steps change when we compare it with the shoe brake. Okay, so kindly practice or kindly take down the design procedure of band brake and try to solve this. Okay, so there is no change when it comes to the case of band brake, whether it's a simple band brake or a differential band brake. Only thing is the direction of forces and the way in which we are going to use the tight side tension and slack side tension. That is the only difference when we compare the simple band brake and the differential band brake. So make a note of that, especially about the direction of force that is being applied for the differential band brake. Rest of everything, every step remains one and the same. So thank you.